The deadly start of 2023 with Mountaineers on Mount Everest. You know those Mount Everest books that make climbing seem like the coolest adventure ever? Well, they're super popular. But let's get real. Climbing Everest is not like a walk in the park. What's even crazier is that a lot of climbers don't just struggle, they actually fall from way up high. Like, can you imagine? So today, we're going to dive into some of these wild accidents. We'll find out, did the climbers mess up, or is Mount Everest hiding some freaky secrets that nobody knows about? So let's begin. Orange County is a growing climbing community, but they don't focus on the death zone, which is a term used for a lack of oxygen at the highest mountain peaks. Some cases are different. Mark Tucker, who is from Huntington Beach, was the first person from Orange County to reach the top of Mount Everest, which is 29,028 feet high, in 1990. He worked as a guide at Mount Rainier in Washington. A man from Australia who climbed Mount Everest after learning to walk again has passed away while coming back from reaching the top. Jason Bernard Kinnison passed away on May 19, 2023. His family said that he accomplished his goal of reaching the top. He was on top of the world, but unfortunately he didn't come back home. The mechanic, who was 40 years old, was on a trip organized by Asian Trekking. The managing director of Asian Trekking, Dawa Stephen Sherpa, said that Kinnison began acting strangely after reaching the south summit. The two Sherpa guides were with him and helped him down to the balcony area. The balcony area is located at a height of 8,400 meters above sea level. According to the Sherpa, the guides went down to Camp 4 because Kinnison didn't want to move. They decided to go down to Camp 4 because they were running out of oxygen cylinders. They hoped to come back up with more cylinders to rescue him, Sherpa said. According to the Himalayan Times, the guides couldn't come back right away because of strong winds and bad weather. Kinnison's journey happened 17 years after he was told he might not be able to walk again. This is because of a car accident in 2006 that caused spinal cord injuries and made him feel depressed. He was climbing to raise money for Spinal Cord Injuries Australia. He wrote on his Just Giving page that he felt inspired to climb Everest after going through another spinal procedure and rehabilitation 3 years ago. Someone important to him convinced him that he could still accomplish anything he wanted. He said that receiving a surfboard as a gift made him feel motivated to look at his life in a new way, to realize what he was missing on a personal level, and to appreciate the challenges he had overcome. In 2023, I'm going to Nepal to visit Mount Everest. It's a big change from when I was struggling with injuries and feeling really down. I never thought I could do something so big, especially after being told I couldn't walk. I want to live my life to the fullest, and one way I plan to do that is by assisting people who have experienced sudden spinal cord injuries. We shouldn't forget them. We should give them assistance. His family wrote on social media he was the bravest, most adventurous person we knew, and we will always miss him. Before he started climbing, he went to New Zealand to take mountaineering classes. He also practiced abseiling and rock climbing. In his backyard, he set up training equipment for ladder crossing, mooring, and roping. The Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade is helping the family of an Australian who passed away in Nepal. According to Himalayan Times, 10 people have died on Mount Everest this spring season, and 2 climbers are still missing above the high camps. A 59-year-old climber from India wanted to be the first woman in Asia to climb Mount Everest with a pacemaker. Sadly, she got sick at the base camp and passed away. Suzanne Leopoldina Jesus was taken to a hospital in Lukla town because she had trouble during exercises to get used to the high altitude at the Mount Everest base camp. She died according to Yuvaraj Katiwada, who works at the tourism department of Nepal. Suzanne, who had a pacemaker, was told to stop trying to climb Mount Everest because she couldn't keep up with the others during the practice at the base camp and had trouble climbing. Suzanne strongly said no to the advice. She insisted on climbing the really tall peak that is 8,848.86 meters high. She already paid the fee to get permission to climb the mountain. Suzanne, who went up to 5,800 meters just above the Mount Everest base camp, was taken by helicopter to Lukla town. She was in the hospital getting treatment, according to Dindi Sherpa, chairman of Glacier Himalayan Trek, the group organizing the expedition. The Sherpa said they had to bring her back to Lukla against her will, and they hired a helicopter to take her away quickly. We told her to stop climbing 5 days ago, but she really wanted to reach the top of Everest, he said. He also mentioned that they discovered during the acclimatization process that Suzanne wasn't qualified to continue climbing the mountain. Sherpa wrote a letter to the Department of Tourism, and in the letter mentioned that Suzanne was not able to climb. This is because it took her over 5 hours to reach Crompton Point, which is only 250 meters away from the base camp. According to Sherpa, most climbers can reach that point in 15 to 20 minutes. However, Suzanne took much longer. On her first attempt, it took her 5 hours. On her second attempt, it took 6. And on her third attempt, it took 12 hours to reach the point during the acclimatizing exercise. He said she wanted to achieve a new world record by being the first Asian woman with a pacemaker to reach the top of Mount Everest. He also mentioned that she was experiencing throat problems, making it difficult for her to swallow food. Suzanne's body was taken to Tribhuvan University Teaching Hospital in Kathmandu for an examination after being flown there. A climber from the United States passed away while attempting to climb Everest on May 1st, as reported by an expedition organizer. On the next day, Pasang Sherpa told CNN that Jonathan Sugarman passed away at Camp 2 after he started feeling sick. Sugarman, who is from Seattle, joined an expedition organized by the International Mountain Guides, a company based in Washington State. Bayul Adventure took care of the local arrangements. Sherpa said his body was at Camp 2 with the rest of the climbers. Nepal had given permits to a record number of 463 climbers for this spring season expeditions to Mount Everest. After Sugarman died, the United States Embassy made a statement. Dr. Jonathan Sugarman died while climbing Mount Everest on Monday, May 1st. We're very sorry for his family and friends. The embassy is talking to Dr. Sugarman's family and the local authorities. We can't say more because we want to respect the family's privacy. Spring's the best time to climb Mount Everest. Many climbers choose to go in May. There's a short period of time, usually after mid-May, when it gets warmer and the high-altitude winds called the jet stream have moved away from the mountains. The climbers, along with the people who work there and the Sherpa guides, spend almost 2 weeks hiking to the Everest Base Camp, and it's located at a height of around 17,000 feet. Mountaineers are worried about too many people at the summit because of the warmer weather and more climbers this year. A photo by mountain climber Nirmal Persia became very popular, and it showed a lot of people crowded together on a narrow ridge leading to the top of a mountain. He said to CNN there were about 320 people waiting in a line to reach the top in a dangerous area called the Death Zone. Nepali authorities are putting up ropes in areas to prevent overcrowding. We can't change geography. We're trying to manage by using many ropes, said Yubaraj Katiwada, the director of Nepal's tourism department, in an interview. Last month, 3 Sherpas sadly lost their lives on Everest when they were buried by a block of snow. This information was shared by an official source, and the group of 3 people were bringing supplies to build and clear a path for climbers to reach the mountain summit. Nepal is 8 of the world's top 10 highest mountains. This makes mountaineering a big source of income for Sherpas, even though climbing Everest can be dangerous. And that's going to do it for today's video, but we'll be right back with more soon, so please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel, and thank you for watching.